Welcome to Brookside Park in beautiful Ashland, Ohio. You're watching the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan. Happy to have you with us from wherever you may be. Semifinal game on Championship Sunday here in the Ashland tournament. This one featuring the number 1 seed, the number 1 ranked team in the world, the New York Gremlins. They'll be taking on the AWP Lumberjacks, ranked number 8 coming in, just about ready for the first pitch, but we have a special guest that's going to do an introduction of the teams in this game.
Today we have the New York Gremlins facing the AWP Lumberjacks from Illinois.
They're from Illinois. That was Lincoln Miller. He's our newest broadcaster here. And Lincoln, where do you live?
I live in Sheffield, Ohio.
And how far is that from Ashland, Ohio?
Not long.
No, not too far?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, you stand by, and I'm going to get back to the ball game, okay?
Got it.
In the circle, Kuba Osikya doing the pitching, coming off a 13 strikeout performance yesterday. Batting lineup for AWP, it'll be Cisco Sabate at the top. He is at the plate right now. Fede Adair in the 2 spot. Jonathan Lynch in the 3. Cody Pannebecker hitting cleanup. That one's hit out to left field. It's going to be over the head of Redemar. It'll bounce all the way to the fence, and Sabate gets things started for the Lumberjacks with a leadoff double. So no time wasted by AWP. They've got their first hit of the game, first runner in scoring position. So the rest of that batting order, Pannebecker hitting in the cleanup spot, Fede Olheiser 5, Frank Kimlinger 6, Tyler Boulay 7, Dan Olstadt 8, and Juan Vala 9th. First pitch swinging, bounces one back to Osika, gets the runner over to third. So 1, 2, 3 on your scorecard if you're keeping it at home. That was Fede Adair, and it'll bring up Jonathan Lynch. Jonathan coming out of the USA national team program. There's a high hopper. That one's going to find its way into center field. And just like that, the Lumberjacks on top by a 1-0 score. So 2 hits. Kuba, a winner yesterday in the game over Midland. As I said, struck out 13 and threw a shutout. New day, new situation for him. So the Gremlins will have to play from behind in this one. Sabate scoring the first run. Lynch now down at first base, and Pannebecker at the plate. Ball inside. The defense for the Gremlins, familiar faces back at usual positions, minus a few of the regulars, as many of the viewers have noted. We'll talk about those a bit. Right now, Coach Greg Hicks is going to go out and have a word with his pitcher, Kuba Osikya, a fine young right-hander from the Czech Republic. While he's doing that, we'll run through the defense. It's in the outfield, Lucio Redemar in left, Benny Noca in center, and the rookie, Abayardo Penuelas out in right field, making his debut on Friday night. Playing very well. The infield around from third, Gonzalo Masmu, Cole Evans at short, Ladislao Malarzuk at second, and Eric Ochoa over at first base. Nick Mullins doing the catching. And Kuba Osikya, as we said, doing the pitching. So on the pitch, Lynch winds up at second base. Just getting started here. If you joined us late, you missed 1 run scored by the Lumberjacks. They came out firing on all cylinders. Sabate with a single to lead it off, and Lynch bringing him home. Just 1 out in the inning. So he winds up at first. So a little bit of trouble in the early going for Kuba Osikya. Lumberjacks lost their first game against the Gremlins in this tournament. So the rematch, they're trying to give it a different look. Cody Gibbons will be the starting pitcher in this one. Did not throw in yesterday's game. Fede Olheiser looks at one on the inside edge for a called strike. Jack Besgrove has pitched 2 of the games thus far available. And Daniel Chapman, the other pitcher here for the Gremlins. Nobody up throwing on the sideline yet. That one's a rise ball, stays way upstairs. Little grounder foul over on the right side, takes out part of the dugout. Put back in play by Eric Ochoa. The Gremlins coming through the pool play portion of the tournament with a perfect 3-0 record. They beat Circle Tap on Friday night, and then a doubleheader yesterday. First game against Midland, 5-0 win, and then the game against AWP, an 8-0 win. Jack Besgrove, the winning pitcher in that one. 2 hopper. Cole has to wait for it. It's short. Comes up throwing. 6-3 put out. Moving over to third on the play is Jonathan Lynch.
With 2 outs, brings up the bat center fielder, number 14, Frank Kimlinger.
And that'll bring up Frank Kimlinger, center fielder for these Lumberjacks. Kimlinger near the top of most of the offensive categories, one of the 2 big run producers for these Lumberjacks. He and Cody Pannebecker having themselves quite a season here in 2024. Change up and it gets away from Mullins. That's going to produce another run. Not sure if they got crossed up on that. Looked like he took something off of it, bounced it. The pitch wasn't there, you see in the replay. Wasn't where it was supposed to be, and Mullins not able to get back to the plate with the ball. So 2 runs in the first inning. That one's in for a called strike. A little hollering from the other side. Not happy with that, but sitting on a 2-run lead. Have to be pretty happy thus far in the early going. That one's off the plate outside. The Gremlins have only trailed once in the tournament. That was Friday night against Circle Tap. They had a 1-0 lead, courtesy of a towering home run off the bat of Eric Ochoa, only to have Circle Tap bounce back with 2 runs. Blair Ezekiel got the first hit of the game, started a rally. Australian Matt Harrow drove in 2 to give them a 2-1 lead over the Gremlins. The Gremlins bounced back themselves, went on to win the game 5-2. That one's wide for ball 4. So a little bit of a struggle for Kuba Usika in the early going. Kimlinger aboard now. And that'll bring up the catcher, Tyler Bully. Tyler, a product of the USA National Team program, came up as a junior and has settled in to a pretty good career in the past decade or so. Swing and a miss late on that one. Good location by Kuba. Nick Mullins going to go out and have a word with him. Does not seem like they're on the same page, at least at this point. So Mullins not happy with what he sees, or maybe picks something up and wants to make sure he drills it home to the youngster. Mullins, of course, the veteran catcher for the USA National Team. Lots of experience, one of the longest running members of this Gremlin program. Kuba in his first year. There's a good rise ball. Little extra zip on that one. Good pitch, good location. AWP with runners at the corners. Inside, just misses with that one. Good location again. Swing and a miss on the rise ball, and down on strikes he goes. Side retired, but not before the Lumberjacks cash in a pair. Couple of runs on a couple of hits. Couple of men left. We played a half inning. The scorer, the AWP Lumberjacks from DuQuoin, Illinois, 2. And the New York Gremlins coming to bat. You're watching the Gremlins Network. We'll be back with more. Home half of the first inning, Gremlins uncharacteristically behind in the early going. See what they have if they answer back. Batting order for the Gremlins today. Lucio Redemar leading off. Abayardo Penuelas, the outstanding rookie. He'll be batting second, giving them plenty of speed at the top of the order, and Redemar and Penuelas. The middle of the order, Inoka, Ochoa, and Evans, 3, 4, and 5. Avery, Malarzik, and Mullins. 6, 7, 8. Gonzalo Mazmu in the 9 spot. Defensively for AWP. In the outfield, Jonathan Lynch in left, Frank Kimlinger in center, Juan Vala from Argentina over in right. A couple more Argentines on the left side of the infield. Fede Olheiser at third, Fede Eder at shortstop. Cody Panabecker at second base, and one more Argentine, Cisco Sabate, over at first. The USA's Tyler Bully behind the plate, and in the circle, the up-and-coming star of the USA junior team, and now moving into the senior level, Cody Gibbons. Cody largely responsible for leading his team to a medal in the last round of the U19. First time we've seen him throwing against the Gremlins, at least on these broadcasts. Ball outside. Cody grew up around the ball fields, watching his father and members of that generation playing. Found himself a seat on the bucket and the dugout, near the dugout, and watched and learned. Obviously has taken in a good bit of that experience, and like some of the youngsters now, they start pitching early. He did, and has continued to progress and hone his skills. Good hard one on the outside edge of the plate, painting it black on the outside edge against Redemar. One of the things they say about Gibbons, he'll throw all day, and in that U19 tournament, he certainly did that. He can rack up the innings. He misses upstairs with that one. And like the Lumberjacks did, the Gremlins have a leadoff batter to start their first inning. Here's Abayardo Penuelas, the youngster from the Mexican U23 team. Also spent some time or is playing for the Oma Tigres at the ISC level. But filling in here for some of the missing players of the Gremlins and doing a whale of a job. That one misses off the plate. Came out on Friday, got a hit in his first at-bat, wound up going 3 for 4 on the night, 2 runs scored. Had himself a double that night, came back the next day and picked up right where he left off. Great speed, shows bunt, pulls back, fouls it out of play. Very aggressive at the plate, very aggressive on the bases. A very good contact hitter, tremendous speed, puts a lot of pressure on the defenders, especially on balls hit in the infield. That one misses off the plate. Lots of international talent on both sides of the field. But a couple of youngsters or players coming up through that youth program for the USA the battery in this one. Gibbons, that one's laced into right field. Penuelas has himself another hit. Redemar off to the races. He'll head on over to third. Hard hit ball off the bat of Abayardo Penuelas, and he continues to impress here in Ashland, Ohio.
Up to bat, center fielder, number 89, Ben Inoka.
That'll bring New Zealander Ben Inoka to the plate. Ben, one of the highest on-base percentages for this team. That one gets away from Bully, and coming on home to score is Redemar. Not sure that was the pitch he was expecting, but it gets away. So on the, you see the replay. Let's see where the pitch was. Pass ball or wild pitch, will let our official scorekeeper decide. Regardless, it's a run for the Gremlins. And on the play, Penuelas moving down to second base, so still nobody out. We were talking about Ben Inoka and that on-base percentage. I think it's somewhere north of 500. First part of the tournament had 3 walks and a hit batter in his first game. Came back yesterday and had a couple more to go with a few base hits, so he has been a tough one to keep off the base paths. Ball upstairs. Benny can swing it with the best of them, but has shown a lot of patience at the plate, not willing to give in and swing at pitches out of the strike zone. Translating to more base runners for these New York Gremlins. Penuelas at second base, trying to look over the shoulder of the taller Cody Gibbons. That one misses way outside, and once again Inoka aboard with a walk. So Benny goes on down to first base, Penuelas at second, and that's going to bring a visit from the skipper of these Lumberjacks. And Penuelas will take advantage of the moment, run down and have a quick word with his coach, or listen in to skipper Greg Leather and Eric Ochoa to see what they're talking about. Pulled up here to the ballpark today and saw Ochoa and Penuelas driving up together. So Abayardo wanting to make sure he's on the same page. Wants to make sure he knows what the veteran Eric Ochoa has in mind as he comes to the plate. Ochoa at the very top of the leaders in almost every category for these Gremlins.
Number 8, Eric Ochoa.
Leads the team in home runs with 4. Nobody else has more than 2. The other big boys with 2. Ochoa with his 4th in this tournament on Friday night. In on the outside edge, painting it black on that outside edge is Cody Gibbons. Ochoa the most hits for the team, the most RBIs for the team. Best slugging percentage, you name it, I think with the single exception of runs scored. And that's because he's there driving them home. It has been a very good year thus far for Eric Ochoa in 2024. Way upstairs, that one gets away from Bully. Penuelas will scoot over to third. On down to second is Ben Inoka. So second and third. Tying run down at third base. Potential go-ahead run in the form of Ben Inoka down at second. Ochoa started the day with 22 hits already in this young season. Fouls that one away. We talked about it in yesterday's broadcast, looking very comfortable at the plate. Kind of at that point where everything seems to slow down. You hear about some of the greats that They just seem to be relaxed and comfortable in their present state, able to produce great results. Strike 3 call. Beautiful changeup from Cody Gibbons. Catches Ochoa looking. Watch it on the replay. Maybe looking for something harder, but there it is. Just floats it right in around the knees. Great location, great decision making by Bully in the call. Here's Cole Evans. That one gets away from Bully. Coming on home to score the tying run is Penuelas. As Tyler having trouble with some of the pitches from Gibbons here. Moving over to third on the play is Inoka, so he represents the potential go-ahead run just 60 feet away. Evans sporting a .324 batting average, a dozen hits thus far. Had his best game of the tournament yesterday. Single, double, triple. We were all waiting for that last at-bat, but the game ended after 5 innings on the run-ahead rule, so he never got to see it, whether he would get a cycle or not. But I'd say a single, double, triple in one game is a pretty fair afternoon for anybody. Cole with a chance right now to put the Gremlins on top. That one's in for a called strike. Evans among the trio of players with 2 home runs, trailing Eric Ochoa. But very good pop in the bat has Cole. Driven in 8 runs already this year. Just off the plate, Tyler Booley doing a pretty good job of framing that one, trying to give our umpire a good look at it. 2-2 now to Cole Evans. Lined into right field, but right at right fielder, Juan Vala. Tagging up on the play is Inoka. The throw comes in behind him. Plenty deep enough to get Benny home. So the Gremlins have answered back with 3 runs of their own. Sacrifice fly if you're keeping a scorebook at home. RBI for Cole Evans, the second out of the inning. And the batter will be Brian Avery. Good hard one on the outside edge. Cody Gibbons continuing to paint the edges. Avery with 11 hits, .275 batting average. He does have a homer, and like Evans, already 8 RBI. High in the infield. Panebacker camps under it, makes the catch for out number 3. So the side retired, but not before the Gremlins get 3 and take the lead. We've played one complete from Ashland, Ohio. Semifinal game, 3-2 Gremlins. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go away. Top half of the second inning here. This is a semifinal matchup. The winner will advance to the championship game that will follow immediately after this one. These two teams represent the number 1 and 4 seeds out of the pool play round. Gremlins' 3-0 record were the number 1. AWP was number 4. 2 and 3 have already played this morning. We'll talk more about that as we go. At the plate right now, Daniel Alstead. He'll be followed by Juan Vala. So 8-9, then back to the top of the order to Cisco Sabate. Alstead near the top of the leaders for the Lumberjacks in hitting. Swings at that one, a little two-hopper over to Cole Evans for the out. 6-3 on your scorecard. Allstat staying aggressive at the plate, had himself a hit in yesterday's game. That against Jack Bestgrove, one of the few hits they were able to tally. Here's Juan Vala. Vala, as we said, from Argentina, tries to bunt, pops it up, but it's going to be, fortunately for him, out of play. Looked like he dropped the barrel. Lucky it did not stay in play. Vala sporting a .292 batting average. He's 7 for 24 thus far. First, though, in RBIs. He's got 11, and he swings. Nice defensive play by Ladislao Malarczuk over there. A little going away fade, backhand toss. Watch the replay. Very smooth defense, makes it look easy. And comes up with the play. So a couple of ground outs. Cuba seems to have settled in. 2 outs in the inning. And we are back to the top of the order. Here's Cisco Sabate. He started that 2-run rally in the first with a single to lead off the game. That one to center field. In for a call strike. Outside edge. Cisco, a very talented position player, but also doubles as a pitcher. Came in relief in yesterday's game. Ryan French was the starter, and Cisco came on, held the Gremlins to just a pair of runs after he entered the game. Not overpowering anybody as a pitcher, but kept everybody off balance. So filling 2 roles for this Lumberjack team. Little flare out of play on the left side. Kuba, the youngster from the Czech Republic, following in the footsteps of Michael Holobratic, Hill United's pitcher from the Czech Republic. Lots of great players coming out of the European circuit nowadays. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes he goes. And Osika looking much better in the second inning. 3 up and down for the Lumberjacks. No runs, no hits, nobody left. To the home half of the second we go. You're watching the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan. We'll be back with more. Home half of the second inning. Gremlins on top by a 3-2 score. The winner of this game advancing to the championship game to follow. For the Gremlins in the second, it'll be 7, 8, 9 in their batting order. That's Ladislao Malarczuk, Nick Mullins, and Gonzalo. Laddie coming into the game with 10 hits on the season. Not quite to his 2023 form, but getting there. Had a bit of a late start coming over. He hails from Argentina, but one of the longtime members of this Gremlin squad, and today back in his regular second base position. Change up, in for a called strike. Ladislao playing in right field yesterday in one of the games as skipper Greg Leather shuffling the players around to compensate for the missing players. Zenon Winter out with an ankle injury. Jerome Remeke out with a wrist injury. They tell me a broken bone hit by a pitch up in Saskatoon, swinging a foul tip. So 2 big players out of the lineup, along with 2 from Canada. Matthew Waugh not here. Blake Hunter not here. Neither of those are injured. But you take 4 regulars away, and that explains why Greg Leathers had to shuffle things around. But some great depth off the bench for the Gremlins, and they've managed to carry themselves very well. Gonzalo Mazmu getting some starts at third base. Tane Mumu at second base, the youngsters. That one stays upstairs for a ball. And once again, Gibbons has walked the leadoff batter. When you walk them, they will score, or so it seems, more often than not. Here's Nick Mullins. Way inside with that one. Down to second goes Malarczuk. Mullins' on-base percentage just shy of the 500 mark. He leads the team in walks. So a catcher's eye. He's also got 8 hits to go with it. Comes in with an average around 260. So certainly doing his part. Shows bunt, pulls back. Keeping the defense guessing. Olheiser down at third did not come in when Mullins showed bunt. Not sure if they were genuinely trying to bunt him over or just move the defense around a little bit. Laddie with pretty good speed out at second. Downstairs, and once again Mullins draws the walk. So the lead of the team in walks. One more for Nick Mullins. Taking his place over at first base to run will be Tane Mumu, the youngster from New Zealand. And while AWP has a conference in the circle, Tane's going to jog over and have a word with the skipper, Greg Leather. And Greg Hicks joining him. Substitution looks like they're going to lift Gibbons. Skipper not happy or not comfortable with what he's seen. So Cody Gibbons, the outstanding youngster from the USA, an early exit. And it'll be Luis Amaya, I believe, coming in. Let me check my scorecard. We'll take a break while he takes his warm-up tosses. And it is indeed Luis Amaya, so we'll take a moment and let Luis take his warm-up tosses. We'll be back with more right after this. So Luis Amaya coming on in relief of Cody Gibbons in the early going. The skipper not comfortable with what he saw from Cody to this point. Cody walked 2 in the first, surrendered the 3 runs, so both of the walks scored. And starting off the second inning with a pair of walks, back in trouble. So maybe a case of just trying to be a little too fine pitching around this powerful Gremlins lineup. Always a difficult task for pitchers. You don't want to give in with hitters of their caliber, but you pitch around them a bit too much and you wind up with extra men on base. Right now, 2 aboard and Mazmu at the plate. Shows bunt, slaps at it, in for a called strike regardless. Masmu coming in with a 308 batting average, limited sample. He's not playing every game, but this weekend has been a great opportunity for him. He's got some starts at third base in place of the injured Jerome Remeke, and doing very well. Swing and a miss on a good changeup from Amaya. Cisco Sabate at first base was coming towards the plate after the initial attempted bunt, so not sure what Masmu is up to. Cisco will stay ready. In for a called strike. It's Malarzouk at second. Tane Mumu over at first, running in place of Nick Mullins. And Masmu, I think, is called out. So 1 out in the book. It's Redemar back at the top of the order, Lucio Redemar. Lucio walked his first time up and scored. That at-bat came, of course, against Cody Gibbons, the starter. Defense for AWP straight away. Center fielder Frank Kimlinger looking straight down the line to home plate. The Gremlins have won the last couple of outings against the Lumberjacks. They beat them in a semifinal matchup also in Port Huron, Michigan a couple of weeks ago. Swing and a miss by Redemar. That was a close game in Port Huron yesterday. A run rule 8-0 win for the Gremlins. So the Lumberjacks have not figured out New York at this point. Deep to right field, but foul. That had plenty of distance on it. Redemar with home run power despite the fact that he hits at the top of the order. Redemar right there with Eric Ochoa. Redemar is probably number 2 in most of the categories. 386 batting average, 17 hits on the season. Ochoa, as we mentioned, with 22. Redemar with a couple of home runs, both responsible for winning ball games. Line to third, grabbed by Olheiser. So it could have been a double down the line, but Olheiser says, not in my house. Makes the grab and brings Panuelas to the plate. So positioned perfectly was Olheiser down at third, 2 outs in the books. And Abayardo Panuelas will step in. Abayardo singled to right, scored in that 3-run first. Laced to the gap in left center field. Kimlinger giving chase, won't catch up with it. Coming home to score is Malarzouk. Right behind him is Mumu. And the youngster from Mexico has himself a 2-run triple. So Abayardo Panuelas made his rookie debut here on Friday night. And he is just putting on a show for the fans. A very exciting player to watch. A couple of RBIs and now a 5-2 lead for the Gremlins. Here's Inoka. Benny with a walk. Came around to score the 3rd run in that 3-run first. So not only a good contact hitter, Panuelas showing some good power there. Really put a charge into that line drive to the gap. And then he was off to the races. Pretty good location. Amaya looking in to say, did I miss? Not by much. Strike on the outside edge. So Amaya makes the adjustment. Maybe an inch or two over from the prior pitch. That one in for a strike. Another one in, comes inside with it. So outside, inside. Couple of strikes on Inoka. Count now full. And once again, Inoka works the walk. He watches Nick Mullins add one to his tally. Benny is right behind him in that category. So their on base percentages both around the 500 mark. They've been on base so much. Here's Eric Ochoa. Evans will follow. Eric, a strikeout victim in the first inning. That was to Cody Gibbons, so he'll get his first look at Luis Amaya. Ochoa leading the team with 22 hits, leading the team with a .431 batting average, leads the team with 19 RBI. Ball upstairs. So I think if you're Amaya, if you're going to pitch carefully to anyone, he's standing at the plate right now. Eric Ochoa playing in a league of his own. That one just missing. Two balls and no strikes to Eric Ochoa. Couple of runs in here in the second, a 5-2 Gremlin lead. Strike call down the middle. On the outside edge again for a called strike. Eric kind of doing a double take. Didn't think that one caught enough of the strike zone, but there you are, 2-2 count. Hard grounder, foul. Inoka was off on the contact. He'll head down to first, back to first base. Gremlins on the corners. Inoka at first, Penuelas over at third. Amaya trying to close things out here in the second. Laced down the line, in for a base hit. Ochoa jogging around first into second with a stand-up double, and he adds two more to that RBI tally. Penuelas and Inoka coming around to score. That one couldn't quite see where it landed down there in the right field corner. Watch the replay. Perfect swing, follow through, got all of it right down the line. And Eric Ochoa continues the hit parade. That's hit number 23. RBIs number 20 and 21. Here's Cole Evans. Ground ball to short. Up with it is Fede Eder over to Sabate for the out. Side retired. But the Gremlins cash him in again. And now with a commanding lead over AWP. We'll be back with more. You're watching the Gremlins Network semifinal game from Brookside Park in beautiful Ashland, Ohio. Top half of the third inning here, and we've already had plenty of action. Present tally 7-2 Gremlins. Only 2 hits in that inning, but they cashed in 4 more. The 2 big hits, of course, the triple by Penuelas to drive in a pair, and Ochoa, hard double down the right field line, drove in 2 more. So the Gremlins on top 7-2. So 2, 3, 4 in the batting order in this inning for the Lumberjacks. That's Adair, Jonathan Lynch, and Cody Panabecker. Kuba Osika seems to have settled in after a little rough going in the first inning where he gave up the 2 runs. Came back in the second, set down the side in order. Adair grounded out to the pitcher first time up and bounces one just over the reach of Eric Ochoa. Pretty good effort down there, but it was in the hole and just took a hop right over the glove. Watch the replay, see if you can pick it up. Good effort, Eric, all the way towards second base to try and make the play. But Adair with a leadoff single, and that'll bring Jonathan Lynch to the plate. Lace to left field. That one's out to Redemar on 2 hops. Moving up 60 feet is Adair. And the heart of the order for the Lumberjacks going back to work, trying to chip away at that lead. Single to right by Adair, single to left by Lynch. His second of the game. And it'll bring Cody Panabecker to the plate. Cody, one of the big run producers on this Lumberjack team. Shows bunt, pops it up though. 1 hop, picked up and thrown, but cut off by Ochoa. Took a little bit too long, I think, getting the throw away. So an infield single for Panabecker, and the bases are full of Lumberjacks. No place to put any more. So after an easy 1-2-3 inning in the second, Kuba Osika is back in trouble here in the third, despite sporting a 5-run lead. Strike called on Olheiser. Olheiser grounded to short his first time up, so 0 for 1 thus far. But AWP staying hungry, starting off the inning with the bases loaded and nobody out. Ball upstairs high. Ball upstairs. Kuba, as we said, 13 strikeouts in yesterday's shutout win. That was a no-hitter against Midland. Does not seem to have the same smooth and easy going that he did yesterday. Change up a good one. Just a little foul tip by Olheiser. Frank Kimlinger, top hitter for the Lumberjacks, waiting on deck. Ball off the plate as Mullen tries to frame that one. So 3-1, Kuba Osika behind against Olheiser and no place to put him. Swinging a foul tip, the count runs full. Defense for the Gremlins straight away. Benny Noka in center looking right down the line towards home, but all 3 outfielders fairly deep for Olheiser. Swing and a miss, and he's down on strikes, so a big out for Kuba. Watch the replay. You see the location up and away on the rise ball. So a deep breath taken by Kuba after that one. Now goes to work looking for a double play against Frank Kimlinger. Kimlinger walked his first trip to the plate. Swing and a miss late. Good location away from the left-hander. One of those situations, I think, Kuba not perhaps with his best stuff this morning or afternoon, and Mullins going to have to work to keep him focused. Off the plate outside, right where the glove was. Mullins nodding his head towards Osika after that pitch as if to say, you hit the mark. Jack Besgrove up throwing on the sideline for New York. Off the plate away. 2 balls and a strike, still bases loaded. Gremlins looking for a pair somewhere to get out of this. Lumberjacks started with the bases loaded and nobody needing to score. In for a called strike. Good location by Kuba. Time is called and Kimlinger will step out. Swing and a miss. Good rise ball from Kuba, and down on strikes goes Kimlinger. So Osika, after loading the bases, has come back strong with a pair of strikeouts. Watch the movement on this pitch. That's the rise ball we saw yesterday in his no-hit 13 strikeout performance. Needs one more here with Tyler Boulay at the plate. Swing and a miss, same pitch, same result. Not able to catch up with it. AWP really needs to score here if they're going to stay in this ball game. Bases loaded and nobody out. Certainly don't want to come away empty-handed in the inning. Hard one misses just inside. Ball and a strike on Tyler Boulay. Boulay a strikeout victim to end the first inning. Kuba Osika looking for one here to end the third. Upstairs for a ball. Just off the plate outside. Mullins will go out and have a word with Kuba. Osika looking in as if he thought he had a strike on that one. Just missed outside. Mullins having a quick word with our home plate umpire to say exactly that. So a big spot here for Kuba Osika. 3-1 pitch with the bases loaded, trying to get out of the inning unscathed. Grounded foul. Will go full. So the money pitch here, 3-2 count, bases loaded. Tyler Boulay trying to cash in one of the base runners or more out there. Good power has Tyler. Foul tip got him on the hand, one or the other. Let's see. On the hand, as they say. So Boulay down to first base, cashes in one of the runs. Danny Olstedt will be the batter. Meanwhile, it looks like Mike Morero will come on to run for Boulay on the 2-out catcher rule. Give Bully a chance to don the gear, and Moreno with better speed at first. Still 2 runners in front of him, though. Base is still loaded, and it's up to Allstat. Swing and a miss late on the riser. Allstat with a hit in yesterday's game against the Gremlins. Was first pitch swinging and grounded out in his 1 at-bat thus far. Swing and a miss late. Good hard downer from the right-hander Osika. Over the top drop, strike 3 called, and Osika strikes himself out of trouble. 3 strikeouts in the inning, just 1 run after AWP loaded the bases, but they don't come away empty-handed. They do score a run on the 3 hits to start the inning. And the score as we head to the home half of the 3rd inning. New York Gremlins 7, AWP 3. We'll be back with more great action from the Ashland, Ohio tournament here at Brookside Park. I'm Jim Flanagan. You're watching the Gremlins Network. So back to the action we go. Bottom half of the 3rd inning. It'll be Brian Avery to start things off. He'll be followed by Ladislav Malarczuk and Nick Mullins. The Gremlins scoring 3 runs in the first, answering back to the 2 scored by AWP. They took the lead. They added 4 more last inning. The big hits, the triple by Penuelas, the big double by Ochoa, each of those driving in a couple of runs. So 4 innings in the second for a 7-run tally. AWP on their side did score the 2 in the first and have added 1 more in the 3rd. Loading the bases, just able to push 1 of those across on the hit by pitch of Tyler Bully. Luis Amaya in the circle for the Lumberjacks came on in early relief of Cody Gibbons. Gibbons with control problems, walking 4 into the 2nd inning. Amaya, Ryan Avery, meanwhile, bangs 1 up the middle for a single to get things started for the Gremlins. So Brian Avery, the Swiss knife, so to speak, of the Gremlins, played catcher earlier, plays outfield, DP, you name it, swings a pretty fair bat as well. He's down at first and Malarczuk at the plate. Ladislav walked in his first trip to the plate. That one's lifted high in the infield. Sabate going to give chase in foul territory, but he'll give way to Cody Panebecker, who goes over behind and makes the catch for out number 1. Just got a little piece of it, did Laddie. Here's Mullins, walked in his first trip to the plate. The leader of the Gremlins in that category, bases on balls. Misses upstairs. A catcher's eye to be sure. Pretty well-defined strike zone has Nick. Greg Leather, the skipper, over in the 3rd base box, and Avery is off on the pitch. Slides in safely. Not sure if that was a straight steal or if Mullins was going to put it in play, but Brian showing some speed, gets down to second, give him a stolen base on that. Trying to show the youngsters, Mumu and Panuelas and the speedsters, he can do it too. Flared down the right field line, coming on and making a nice catch is Vala. Great throw to third. Comes in right behind Avery. Avery having a good laugh over there with Greg Leather. I think that ball got there quicker than he thought. So Mullins put a good charge into it, but a nice defensive play out in right field by Juan Vala. Caught the ball below the waist, then came up and threw a perfect strike over to Olheiser at third. 2 outs in the inning. Tane Mumu will try and bring the runner home. Excuse me, I said Mumu. It's Mazmu. The M&M boys. This is Mazmu. Strikeout victim his first time up. Lace down the line, but foul. Sends a few of the Lumberjacks scurrying down there. Off the plate, away for a ball. Off the plate, away. Gonzalo continues to work the count. High in the infield, it'll be Fede Adair taking a step or two to his left. Camps under it and makes the catch for out number 3. So the Gremlins strand Avery at third in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We played 3 complete. 7-4, Gremlins on top in this semifinal game. The winner advancing to the championship game immediately to follow. You're watching the Gremlins Network. Don't go away. We'll be back with more great fast pitch action right after this. Top of the 4th inning for the Lumberjacks. It'll be Juan Villa to start things off. So 9-1-2. Back to the top of the order. Sabate and Adair to follow. Villa with a ground out to second, his first trip to the plate. Lumberjacks chasing 3 at the moment. 7 to... That one's up the middle, a single to lead it off. So in 3 of the 4 innings, the Lumberjacks have put the first runner aboard. Sabate led off the game with a single. He's back at the plate now. Fede Eder led off the third with a single. And now Juan Valla up the middle with a single. Sabate 1 for 2, shows bunt, doesn't put it down. (7-3) Gremlins, chasing 4 are the Lumberjacks. Swing and a miss late on that one on the outside edge. The damage has been done by the Lumberjacks up around the top of the order. Sabate scored one of the runs. Adair scored one, as did Jonathan Lynch, who's on deck. Little flare down the left field line. Redemar gives chase, but no go. Little one hopper, and Kuba's going to run to the base and take it himself. Good athletic move on his part. Nobody to cover, and so everybody moving towards the ball. He grabbed it, says, I'll take care of this myself. Nice defensive play by the youngster. Moving over on the play to second is Valla. So one unassisted. How often do you see that in a scorebook? Here's Fede Adair. Adair 1 for 2 on the day, singled and scored in the third. Off the plate away, taken for a ball. Winner of this game advancing to the title game. They'll take on the Northeast Drillers. The Drillers 9-4 winners over the Circle Tap Dukes. In the early game, that was the second and third seeds in the tournament. Drillers scoring 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. But a big 4 spot in the fourth is what made the difference in the ball game. Shows bunt, doesn't get it down, then pulls back and slaps foul. Martin Gonzalez went the distance for the Drillers in that game, picking up the win. Scattered 8 hits, struck out just 3, but managed to keep the Circle Tap Dukes at bay. So the number 4 ranked team in the world, Drillers, over the number 6 ranked team, Circle Tap Dukes, in the other semifinal. Swing and a miss late on the rise ball, can't catch up with it. Adair. So the second out, and that'll bring up Jonathan Lynch. Lynch with a pair of singles, singled up the middle and scored in the first. Singled a hard shot to the left last time up. Valla down at second, looking over the shoulder of Kuba. Meanwhile, swing and a miss on the pitch to Lynch. Solorio and Migliavaca with a couple of RBIs each in that 9-4 win for the Drillers. Laced to left field, diving catch by the youngster, Albayardo Penuelas. Looked like a sure base hit. Albayardo, good speed, comes right on in and dives to make the catch for the out. Watch the replay here. He was showing bunt at first, pulled back and took a healthy cut. And a diving Albayardo Penuelas ends the inning. Side retired for the Lumberjacks in the fourth. No runs a hit, 1 man left. Still 7-3 Gremlins. We'll be back with more. Don't go away. You're on the Gremlins Network. Bottom of the fourth for the Gremlins. Top of the order, Redemar, Penuelas, and Inoka. Redemar 0 for 1 on the day, walked and scored in that first inning. 3-run first from the Gremlins. Lined out to Olheiser at third, just narrowly missing another base hit. Rise ball up and away. That one sails way out of the strike zone. Luis Amaya came on in relief in the second for Cody Gibbons. The right-hander hailing from Maracaibo, Venezuela. Showing some pretty good stuff to this point. That one's lifted high but shallow and left. It'll be Jonathan Lynch coming on to make the catch. Out number 1. So coming to the plate, 2 for 2 on the day with a single and a triple. A couple of RBIs to go with it. Young Abayardo Penuelas. First pitch swinging, fouls that one straight back. In that Driller win in the earlier game, a couple of USA players, USA national team players, Schiller and Milheim coming through for 5 hits, 5 of the 13 hits in the winning effort. And Abayardo Penuelas has himself another hit in the gap and doesn't break stride. Now he's going to run to third. The throw comes in. And he is safe at third with another triple. Don't stop running until they throw you out. Abayardo over at third. Never broke stride. See the replay. Watch him. He is off to the races. He's got double for sure. And then just right on around second base. I'm not sure if the skipper Leather had the brakes on, but there he is at third base again. Here's Inoka. Way inside. Amaya thought he had hit the edge, did not. Don't know or think there's an award for the most exciting player in this tournament, but if there is, it has to be the youngster from Mexico, Penuelas. He has just put on a show all weekend long from the very first at-bat. Extra base hits, RBIs, runs scored, you name it. Great defensive plays like the one that ended the prior inning. And Benny Noka with another walk. 3 today if you're counting in this game to go with the half dozen or so that he had Friday and yesterday. I was joking with Ben before the game, asking him if he just didn't want to swing the bat, and he just smiled. He did yesterday, had a couple of base hits to go with all those walks, but he has scored both times on the prior walks, looking to score a third time here. Ochoa lifts one. It's going to be out of play on the left side, all the way down the line. The home run on Friday night by Ochoa was a towering drive to straightaway center. The majority of the rest of the hits going left center, as he is prone to do. That one's pulled into the hole, so much for my theory. Base hit to right field. Ochoa's got himself another hit and another RBI as Penuelas checks in with run number 8 for the Gremlins. Watch the replay. Just a smooth, easy swing, and Ochoa. Second hit of the day, third RBI for Eric. Inoka down at second base, and Cole Evans at the plate. Evans 0 for 1, had a sac fly in the first. foul up and out of play on the right side. Ball inside. Miss Amaya misses. That one's in for a called strike. With that last RBI, Ochoa tallying 3 on the day, so started this morning with 19, now at 22, and he's got a good handful or half dozen more than anybody else on the team. Meanwhile, Cole Evans swinging a miss on that one. 2 outs.
With 2 outs brings up the designated player number 33, Brian Avery.
Here's Brian Avery. Brian singled last time up to center field. Got as far as third base, stole second, moved over to third on a play, did not score. Now trying to pick up some RBIs. Inoka at second, Ochoa at first. Lifted high in the outfield, giving chase out towards the fence and back and off the glove. Avery's got a hit, coming home to score as Inoka. That one carried and carried. Jonathan Lynch and Kimlinger meeting in the gap. It looked like Kimlinger, let's watch the replay, it looked like he was going to take it initially, and they didn't collide, but ball coming off of one of their gloves out there, hard to see on the replay. So Brian Avery with an RBI. He's at second base now. Ochoa over to third. It was Inoka coming home to score. Runners had to hold up and make sure that it would drop before they ran. So Ochoa still at third. And Ladislav Malarchuk with a chance to cash in a run. Laddie 0 for 1, a walk and a pop-up last time up. Off the plate away. First few innings here started to look like the game that the two teams played in Port Huron, a close game. That was a semifinal game won by the Gremlins late. Yesterday was an 8-0 run rule, Gremlins winning. This game now at 9-3 starting to look more like that one. AWP has to be conscious at this point about the run ahead rule. Only in the fourth, but the margin at 6. The run rule is 7 after 5. Way inside, almost caught him in the ear flap. Grounded into the hole. That's a base hit to right field. RBI single. In comes Ochoa. Right behind him, Brian Avery and Ladislav Malarchuk with a 2-run single to right. Runs the score to 11-3. And a visit to the circle. And it looks like we may have another pitching change. We'll see Amaya coming off the field. So time is out. We'll take a break and come on back. Right now, though, the Gremlins cashing in 2 more, taking an 11-3 lead, and we are in run rule territory. We'll be right back. You're watching the Gremlins Network from Brookside Park in Ashland, Ohio. Ryan French coming on to pitch for the AWP Lumberjacks, third pitcher of the game today. Ryan threw as a starter in yesterday's loss to the Gremlins. He threw the first 4 innings or thereabouts. One pitcher notable by his absence is Brad Kilpatrick, the fine left-hander from Team USA. He was the one that pitched a gem in Port Huron, kept the Gremlins to just a couple of runs. They wound up winning it late. That one a single by Cole Evans to drive in a pair, but Kirkpatrick an outstanding effort. Not available today. Amaya is here, I think, in his place. Nick Mullins at the plate. First pitch swinging, a one-hopper to short. They go the short way to get the final out. So 1 pitch, 1 out, and 1 ticket to the dugout to AWP to go back to hitting. Side retired. We'll be back with more great action. Top of the 5th coming up. Where the Lumberjacks know they need to score runs if they're going to extend the game. Right now the margin is 11-3, 8 runs. Cody Pennebecker to lead things off, 4, 5, and 6 for AWP in the inning. Lumberjacks thus far 3 runs on 6 hits, no errors. The Gremlins 11 runs on 9 hits and no errors. Winner advances to the finals. Northeast Drillers waiting. They won the first game of the day at 9 a.m. against Circle Tap. 9-4. Martin Gonzalez, the winning pitcher in that one. Lifted into center field. Inoka not able to get to it. Fields it nicely on a hop. Flips it back to Cole Evans. And the Lumberjacks once again have the leadoff batter aboard. They've had a base hit to start the first inning, third inning, fourth inning, and now the 5th. In the third inning, they loaded the bases with 3 consecutive singles, but only able to cash in one of those. That was on the hit by pitch. Tyler Booley driving in the run the hard way. Fede Olheiser at the plate, 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. Foul and out of play. Little cooler day today, overcast skies, no complaints from the players. Perfect weather to be playing ball in. Another gorgeous day in Ashland. High hopper fielded by Mullins, but it's foul. Say a quick hello to my lovely wife, Maddie, watching back home. The boys are taking good care of me. I've decided to stay a little bit longer. They gave me a good seat here, and I think I'll stay. Hard grounder to Masmu, flips to second, 1, back to first, double play. Nice start on the double play by Masmu. 5-4, 4-3. And the AWP Lumberjacks down to their final out, perhaps, if they do not score. Frank Kimlinger will be the batter, 0 for 1. Walked and struck out. I'm sorry, Moreno. Mike Moreno. So he slotted into that spot when he entered the game.
Batting for Frank is number 5, Mike Moreno.
Swing and a miss late on that one. Morero entered the game to run initially. Someday we'll have ticker tapes up here in the booth, and those changes will pop up on our screen before they do on yours. We're getting there. Two hopper to second. Ladislao Malarzuk up and throwing. Side retired. That is the final for the ball game. Kuba Osika fighting through a little bit of trouble in 2 of the innings, picks up the win. AWP Lumberjacks eliminated. Fine showing by them, making it to the Final Four. The Gremlins will take on the Northeast Drillers in the championship game. We'll be back on the Gremlins Network with that one. We're going to take time and reset our dials and get ready. Don't go away. If you can stick around and watch it, some exciting action on the way to you. If you've got to run some errands or head out of the house, take the phone with you. Take us along. We like to travel. We'll be right back with a championship game from Brookside Park in Ashland, Ohio.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com